Once upon a time, there was a young doctor named Nick. His patients liked him because he was very kind. He spoke to them with great care and respect. Nick lived alone because his parents had died a few years ago. Despite the loneliness, he stayed focused on his dreams. He had a goal in mind to specialize in his field and become the best at what he did. One morning, Nick woke up. After a quick shower, he went straight to the kitchen. He filled the kettle with water, set it on the stove, and lit the fire. While waiting for the water to boil, he added 2 teaspoons of tea leaves, added some milk, and 2 teaspoons of sugar, and stirred it well. As the tea cooked, he spread butter on 2 slices of bread. Next, he made a bowl of cereal. After pouring the tea into his cup, he set the breakfast table and ate quickly. Then he grabbed his coat and phone. He picked up his car keychain and left. When Nick reached the hospital, he started his rounds in the pediatric ward. He approached the little girl's bed and checked her.
Okay, sweetie. I think we should change your medicine,
he said, jotting down a new prescription in the chart. He turned to the nurse, handing her the updated prescription.
Make sure she gets this. 2 teaspoons of the syrup after each meal now.
Next, he moved to an elderly man's room. He checked his blood pressure and chatted with him a bit.
How are you feeling today, Mr. Thompson?
Nick asked.
All good, Doctor.
The man replied with a weak smile. Nick nodded, gave the nurse instructions for his care, then headed on to the next patient. He exchanged greetings with the doctors and nurses he passed along the way. One morning, when Dr. Nick was checking his patients, Dr. Ella came.
Hey, Nick. Did you hear? The hospital is starting a new venomous snake bite treatment course. You should sign up,
she said. Nick nodded and headed to the registration desk right away. He signed up for the course. The course started the next week. Dr. Nick sat in the lecture hall, listening intently, as the instructor explained venomous snakebite treatment.
To treat snake bites, start the antivenom as soon as possible,
the instructor said.
Monitor the patient closely. Manage any symptoms like swelling or difficulty breathing, and provide pain relief if needed. Keeping the patient comfortable and well hydrated is key.
Dr. Nick nodded, making notes. He was ready to use these tips with his patients. After finishing the course, Dr. Nick got his certificate and became an expert. One Sunday evening, he was at home when the hospital called. The receptionist spoke urgently.
Dr. Nick, there is a snakebite patient who needs your help. Can you come to the hospital right away?
Dr. Nick grabbed his keys and phone, then rushed out the door. At the patient's bedside, Dr. Nick quickly administered the antivenom treatment. The nurse stood by, helping him with the setup. Dr. Nick checked the patient's vitals.
The swelling's starting to go down, and his breathing is steady. We just need to keep him comfortable and well hydrated with fluids through the drip,
he said. The nurse, Ava, nodded.
Okay, doctor.
There was a man named Charles who lived in a village. He ran a small grocery shop. He lived with his wife, Roma, and only son, John. He loved his only son very much. One morning, Roma woke up and went to the kitchen. She got busy in the kitchen. Meanwhile, Charles got up and called out,
John! Wake up, my son!
John dressed in his uniform after his shower. Roma set up the breakfast.
Breakfast is ready,
she called. They all sat together. When John tried to leave, Charles stopped him.
Finish your milk, my dear.
Roma smiled. After breakfast, Charles dropped John at school. After returning from school, Charles opened his shop, and customers soon arrived.
Charles, give me a dozen eggs and a loaf of bread,
said a woman, placing her basket on the counter. Another man added,
I need a bottle of cooking oil. Charles. My wife needs it urgently.
As they shopped, the conversation shifted to the rise in snakebite cases in the village. One customer said,
We really need a skilled doctor here for emergencies like these.
But Charles shook his head firmly and said,
Only a snake can suck its poison. No doctor can treat such a patient.
One Sunday, Charles's neighbor Adam came with Mike, who was John's class fellow. Roma made tea for Adam and Mike asked,
Uncle, can we play outside?
Charles shook his head.
No. Dear. You both should play inside.
So Mike and John went to John's room. While they played, Adam told about some recent snakebite cases in the village, which made Charles worry. On one day, Dr. Nick got called by the office.
You have to go to the nearby village.
Dr. Simon said,
Where a doctor is needed urgently due to snake bite cases.
Dr. Nick nodded.
Yes, sir.
The next morning, he headed to the village with the help of a map. He reached there just before sunset. Mr. Jonathan, a villager who had requested the hospital to send a doctor, welcomed Dr. Nick and took a tray of sandwiches and tea. After eating, Mr. Jonathan cleaned up the dispensary and set up a small room for Dr. Nick. The room was simple yet functional, with medical supplies neatly organized on the shelves. A desk with a chair and a small examination table in the corner. It was ready for Dr. Nick to start his work in the village. Dr. Nick was worried because the villagers didn't trust him. Their behavior was cold. But Mr. Jonathan continued to encourage him. One day, Dr. Nick sat in the dispensary when Mr. Jonathan came running.
John has been bitten by a snake. Let's go!
Dr. Nick grabbed his medical box and rushed with Jonathan to the spot. The situation was dire. John's condition was worsening. All the villagers gathered there. Adam and the other villagers were trying to search for the snake. John struggled to breathe. Charles and his wife were crying badly. Dr. Nick shouted desperately,
Please let me do my work.
Jonathan said,
Please. Charles. Time is very short. Don't waste it searching for the snake.
But Charles refused, and the villagers kept searching for the snake. John's condition worsened, and he died. His mother fainted. Dr. Nick hung his head and turned away, his tears streaming down his face. Jonathan stood there, helpless, his eyes filling with tears. He went after Dr. Nick. He tried to comfort him. But Dr. Nick just shook his head.
They don't need me. They don't want my help.
The next morning, Dr. Nick packed his things. But Charles and Adam caught up to him. Charles's eyes were red, and he said,
Please, Dr. Nick. Don't leave. Our village needs you. We will try to convince the others of your treatment.
Dr. Nick patted his shoulder and replied,
I will stay here. And we will work together.
With that, the village began to trust Dr. Nick. Moral: sometimes it takes time to gain people's trust.